Good day. It's lunch hour with Esmeralda Johnson, author of It's Over. Today I'm going to talk about moving on from breakup. Do you agree that on some level you need to move on? When you contact your ex, you are regressing. When having the desire to contact your ex, think about the bad times you have experienced with a person. Replay in your memory. It will make you feel better. Just think of all the bad things that happened during the relationship every time you have a desire to contact a person. When you continue to live in the past, it will stay in your present and you will never be able to move on. And I know it's difficult, but you need to do this. Jonah was one of the Hebrew prophets in the Bible who was sent by God to prophesy over Nineveh, but tried to escape the divine mission. Jonah ran away after refusing God's order to go to Nineveh. He ends up on a ship as a storm rages. In the olden days, and maybe even today in some parts of the world, people were very superstitious, especially fishermen. When a storm rages, they will think who is the cause of it, and they will look for that person. So in Jonah's time, it was the same. When the storm raged with Jonah on board and the fact that he was a stranger, they immediately thought he must be the cause of the storm. And in this case, they were right. They reluctantly threw him overboard and the wind started to calm down. But for Jonah, things took another turn. A big fish, swallowed him, and he prayed to God from the fish's belly. There's lots of theories about where Jonah was, but I'm not going to go into that. The fish vomits him out onto the land after 3 days, and Jonah goes to Nineveh. Jonah thought by ignoring the instruction and by running away from God, from the instruction God gave him, it would solve his problem. Jonah was regressing and did not want to accept the situation. I can also understand why he did it. In Bible times, when prophets gave terrible news or bad news, lots of times they were killed. Especially in this case, he was supposed to prophesy the destruction of Nineveh. If it were me, I would have run away too, really. Because to tell a whole city God is going to destroy them, it's not good news. It is the same with breakup. It is hurtful to move on and leave the so-called loved one or love of your life. Letting go of old relationships are complicated. You will instead try to run from your feelings than facing it. After Jonah repented from disobeying God, he told God that he would accomplish the assignment that the Lord had called him to do. God then instructed the whale to vomit Jonah out into dry land. Jonah obeyed the call to prophesy against Nineveh. As a result of his preaching, the entire population of Nineveh repents before the Lord. Nothing happened to Nineveh. It does not matter your religion or background until you accept to move on from a breakup or failure or in any part of your life, any failure in your life. If you don't want to move on, you will never be able to see the greatness that the living God has in store for you. The people of Nineveh would not have existed if they didn't accept that they needed to repent their wrongdoing. The danger of regression can cost you your future. As highlighted previously, if you don't accept that your relationship is over, you will never be able to move on. The people of Nineveh repented, but in your situation, you need to forgive your ex. You need to forgive and able to move on. Forgiveness doesn't mean making up with a person. Forgiveness brings complete healing. Forgiveness will not happen overnight. It is a slow and painful process. Jonah was lucky that he only spent 3 days in the belly of the fish. Your healing process will take a little bit longer. It will explain, I will explain acceptance at another time. But today I just want to say, every time you feel you don't want to move on, just think of Jonah and Nineveh. I hope you've enjoyed this short session, and don't forget to like and share and subscribe if you want to see more of my content.